Hello, this is Duck Show Studios. Warning! This video contains my opinions. You have been warned. So, all engines go. Not my cup of tea. Most episodes are either just okay, or some are bad. But there are a few episodes that I actually like, and that are actually good. And today we're going to take a look at them in the top 5 best All Engines Go episodes. Now, these episodes aren't like the best episodes of the whole franchise or anything, but they're good and worth talking about. So, let's get cracking. Number 5, Christmas Mountain. So the plot of this one is, the Christmas tree from the mainland doesn't arrive. Bruno is upset because he likes the tradition of having a Christmas tree every year. Thomas and Percy help find him a new tradition. They look for other things to put the Christmas lights on, like Percy himself, a T-Rex, and one of my favorite lines is when Bruno says, when they're like, "What do you think of the T-Rex, Bruno?" And he's like, "Looks more T-Rex-missy than Christmassy." And then, and then they find Lookout Mountain and they put the lights around it. It's a nice little Christmas story. I like Bruno in it. I really like Bruno a lot. And I like the story. It's a good story. But one thing I don't like is the song. All Engines Go songs all feel the same to me because most of them are happy and, for lack of a better word, sappy friendship songs. Happy, sappy friendship songs. They're not really, they all feel the same to me. And they're all very happy and, they all sort of merge to me. But yeah, I like this episode. 7 out of 10. Number 4. Choo Choo Check-In. Season 3 of AEG was a bit disappointing for me because Season 2 had so many improvements over Season 1 and had so many good episodes, and Season 3 didn't really improve from Season 2. But Season 3 did make one big improvement, and that is Sir Topham Hatt. In the first 2 seasons, he barely did anything, but in Season 3, he's the one to give the engines their jobs most of the time, which I really like. And Choo Choo Check-In is one of those stories. Choo Choo Check-In, the plot is that Topham's having a fair of some sort, and he's asking the engines to bring things like Bouncy House and stuff, and Thomas and Connor have to go collect some stuff. And Gordon asks them at the beginning, "Oh, do your Choo Choo Check-In." And they do, but then they think they can go. But then Kana runs out of her battery, which she's the Shinkansen, I think. Well, yeah. So she should have overhead wires, but there aren't any overhead wires on Sodor, so it makes sense that she'd have a battery. Thomas runs out of water. And I like that because that's railway realism. Those are things that happen to real engines. And then, one little thing to note, I like that when Thomas refills on water, the water goes into the correct spot on his tank. His tank opens up and the water goes into the correct spot, which is a nice little touch. And anyway, so they run out and then they get more, and yeah. It's a good episode. 7 out of 10. Number 3. Bruno's Map Mishap. Bruno is, in my opinion, the best new character in All Engines Go because he has autism. I have autism too. And this episode I find relatable. Let's get into it. So the plot is that Bruno has a map that Sir Topham Hatt gave him. And he's using it, and Thomas and him are playing a game where Bruno tells Thomas which way to go. And then the map blows away when Kana zooms by. And then Bruno feels sad because the map made him feel good. So then all the engines work together to find the map. I really like this one because it reminds me of my own life. I have this book here, the complete collection of the Railway series. Now, I've memorized, just like Bruno. Bruno knows where all the places are on Sodor, but he still likes the map because it makes him feel happy. I've memorized most of these stories, and yet I still love rereading this book because it makes me feel happy. And also, my mom and stepdad gave it to me. And yeah, so I find it relatable, and I really like this episode. I like Bruno in it, and yeah, 7 out of 10. Number 2. The Super Axle. Now we get into the Toby episode. Now, I love Toby in this episode. He's sort of in character. Because, well, in the Railway series, Toby was an agent of chaos. In this, he's not an agent of chaos, but also in the Railway series, Toby was a wise old tram, and in this episode, he's a wise old tram, so he's sort of in character, which I love. And he also is sort of unsure of himself, which is sort of reminiscent of the Hit era. Now, I'm really glad they did some research on Toby, because his backstory is the same in this episode. His backstory in All Engines Go is the same as his backstory in the original series, which I love. He was worked on the mainland, but then his railway closed down, so then he came to Sodor. And I love how the crew did their research on Toby, instead of doing something lazy like thinking, Toby's square, Diesel's square, let's make him Diesel's older brother. Like, they could have done something lazy like that, but they didn't. They actually did their research on Toby, which I love. And so anyways, the plot is that Toby is new to Sodor, and he doesn't think he can go as fast and as strong as the other engines. And then Thomas, Sandy, and Carly give him an old axle they painted to look fancy, telling him it's a super axle. And then Toby thinks he can do all the stuff that the other engines can. And then he does, and then he has to stop Diesel, who run away. Like, Diesel, his brakes stopped working, so Diesel was a runaway train, so Toby saves the day, and yeah. I also like how it makes sense that Toby would think he's not as fast and strong as the other engines because he just got there. Unlike in the season 18 episode, Signals Crossed, where Toby has been on Sodor for several years now, and for some reason doesn't know how Signal works. So this episode and All Engines Go, I think, did that better than the CGI series. Also, there's a lot of fan service in this episode, and one of the fan service things is when Toby sees the super axle, he says, "What in the name of the Flying Scotsman is that?" Which I love. And it makes sense that Toby would know who the Flying Scotsman is because he's from the mainland. And it makes me smile when I hear that line. Anyways, this is a good episode. 7 out of 10. Number 1. Nia's Surprising Surprise. This one's a good episode. It feels like the CGI series. Like, it doesn't feel like... A lot of All Engines Go episodes, the engines do people things. This one sort of doesn't do a people thing, because I think that engines can be excited about decorations. I'll buy that. Like, I'll buy that as something an engine would think. So anyways, the plot is that it's Nia's Sodor anniversary, and she's looking for all the decorations, but her friends seem to forget. But then she only finds out that her friends did remember and were planning her surprise party. This episode is awesome. I like Nia in it. I think this is a good episode. I like Nia. And I like how it's like believable that this is what an engine would want. There is one people thing in it, like at the end Nia says, "Oh, is there a cake?" And we don't actually see the engines eating the cake because that would be really weird. But it's still a bit weird that there is a cake and that she wanted a cake. Unless it's just for Topham to eat. Because Topham's at her surprise party. And, the song is sort of sappy, but it's better than most of the songs, in my opinion. And I also like how Thomas, I like how Nia helped Thomas up a hill. Now, you might be thinking, well, it's not in Kenya. Well, apparently in the All Engines Go canon, Thomas never traveled around the world. So it makes sense that Nia would help him up a hill on Sodor when they first met. So that's a nice little nod. I also like how... I forgot now. Oh gosh. Hopefully this video won't get derailed for too long. Yeah, I like Nia. I don't remember that thing I had to say. Gosh, sorry guys. I'll try to remember, and then if I don't, I'll end the video. Oh yeah, and I like how James has a good amount of dialogue, because in All Engines Go, James doesn't really speak much and do much, but in this he had a couple lines, which is good. There's still something else I'm trying to remember what I had to say. I don't remember. Oh well. 7 out of 10 for Nia's Surprising Surprise. Thanks for watching, and hope you all have a great day. P.S. I remembered what I had to say. This episode is written by Michael White, one of my favorite writers of the whole show. This is for Nia's surprising surprise, by the way. And I really hope they let him write more episodes for All Engines Go. As well, yeah, this episode reminded me of the Season 8 episode, Don't Tell Thomas. That's what I had to say. Those were the things I forgot, and yeah. So, thanks for watching, and hope you all have a great day.